Hello, everyone. Welcome to this chat with Consie Sindet. I am super happy and excited to be able to introduce you to Consie because not only she'll be teaching, sharing a live stream lesson with us on Sunday, but also is obviously a teacher on Wanderlust 2023. And we worked together in past, right, on Wanderlust already.
Yes.
And that was really good. And I know your lesson was really, really loved by many people. So I am super happy and excited to have you here again. And today we're going to be chatting about everything.
Yes, everything.
Confirm. I just also want to point out this is pre-recorded and Consie is really dedicated. She got up very early today for that.
I did.
So thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
I appreciate it. Consie, tell us a little bit about yourself. If anyone doesn't know you, I mean, where have you been, people? But just tell us, what do you do, where you are?
Okay. Yeah. Well, where I am, why I got up at 5 a.m. for this 6 a.m. call, is in South Carolina. I always say I currently live there, but it's a permanent move. But I was in New Jersey 6 years ago, so that's why I'm still trying to get my brain between North and South here. And I am a creativity coach and teacher, and I do all my teaching through mixed media and art journals. That is my fun job. I have a day job currently. That is currently as a bookkeeper, which is using the complete opposite side of my brain.
Right. Yeah.
So I find a lot that I need to balance those. So it's kind of crazy that I do bookkeeping and then I do art, but it tends to keep me. One of my favorite phrases is the phrase structured freedom. And it almost feels like the structure is the bookkeeping and the freedom is the art. So that helps to balance me out. So yeah. And art journaling was something I came to in 2014. I found it through the Documented Life Project, which a lot of people know about. Yeah. So I was looking for a way to make my planner, pretty so that I would open it and actually do my stuff. And I ended up on someone's website who had started the Documented Life Project, and which was art journaling through a planner. And I was like, what is this? And, it was so much fun. And then it was the best because it showed me what it did for me was I've always been an artist. I've done craft shows. I've taught, I've painted murals. I've face and body painted and done henna. I mean, I just keep pivoting to different things. But I was tired of painting on things. I sold at craft shows for almost 12 years. And it's just things. And I got tired of the collecting of things and canvases, and art journaling was a way to still be arty and creative on a book that closed and took up very little space. And so it's my minimalistic heart, which is only, because I've moved so many times and had to downsize that I'm now a no stuff person. And not that minimal, not like a true minimalist. But that's one thing I loved about art journaling was that I was able to just play, and there was I had to display it, or I had to find a way to sell it or give it away. All I just did was turn the page. And that was the most freeing thing I have ever seen, was like, how did I never know this before? So,
right.
Yeah,
it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Because, excuse me, I think it also lets us be more free in what we do, right? If there's no pressure of having to do something with it afterwards, or having to display it or sell it, or so I think that's why so many of us are totally crazy about art journaling.
Yeah, especially art journals that we make, like the ones that, well, although, I say that as in some people make their art journals, it becomes even more precious to them because they made it. Whereas to me, it's the opposite. Like, I made it because it was the stuff that's lying around. So it's not as precious, and it feels even more freeing for me to have made the art journal. And as opposed to, going and buying a mixed media pad or something that feels like I spent all this money on it, as opposed, I actually am less precious with the mixed media pad I ripped apart and then sewed back or stapled back together. It's kind of ridiculous. That to me is even more freeing, like than the actual bought art journal. Yeah, I think my favorite art journal is made of cardboard. Like it's cardboard and masking tape. That's all it is. And it's one of my favorite things to work in because it's junk. It is the Amazon box. Or my very first one was actually the cardboard from in between the cat food cans, where I saved all the
cat food journal.
It was the cat food. It's my cat food journal, and I was like, these are great thin pieces, and they were the perfect size. I just cut them in half, and I was like, I mean, you cannot be precious about cardboard from cat food boxes. So
absolutely, unless you're a cat.
Unless you're, and then it's like, why are you using my cardboard?
What's wrong with you? It's my precious.
It's my precious. Oh my God.
I can totally relate to that because I also think that definitely feel more free in a journal that I built myself. And I also think that because some of those pages that at least I put into handmade journals are like leaflets or pages from books, they already have something on them. So that fear of the blank page or how to, just put something on this perfectly white piece of paper, how to start, that's gone straight away because there's already something on it. There's no, nothing precious about it. So yeah, that's definitely really good. If any one of you listening and or watching ever thought that, it's hard to start working in a new book, then try Consie's way, right? Make your own. It can be really simple because you can just put a string through the pages, fold them, and it doesn't have to be in a stitching, right? What do you usually do?
I have stitched some. Like I said, the cardboard one is literally cardboard and masking tape. Like it's masking tape holding it together.
Oh, that's so tactile as well.
Yeah.
Masking. I love that.
Yeah. And then I discovered the long arm stapler. It's, like it's really long. So, because I had a stapler and I was like, well, I like love little itty bitty staplers. But then there was an artist online and she was like, and I'm just gonna, and I was like, what is that? Because it's, it's like 1.5 feet long. And so you can staple anything. So I was like, I ran to Staples and I got a long arm stapler. So all you need is just to fold pages and staple them closed. Done. And it's over.
Beautiful.
So
that's really fast.
Oh, it's very fast. I can be done in 2 seconds. But the other thing that when you said about the blank page that I have found is I don't even know where Prana is, but I don't know if you know the company Prana. It's like an outdoorsy clothing company.
Okay.
And I get their catalogs a lot. But their paper is it's kind of newspapery, it's like a recycled paper. And I love their catalog. And I use their catalog as the beginning of the art journal. So when you said like to start with something, you can't not start with something when there's people's faces and their clothing and colors. And I mean, everything we would do to an art journal page, there's color, there's a face, and there's book paper because there's writing all over it is already there. So yeah, so I use that too. So I always encourage people just to find a catalog that comes in the mail that's got paper that that feels interesting. And I've saved like 12 of them. I don't know what I'm going to ever do with 12 Prana catalogs.
What do you mean what?
I know, well, I haven't finished the first one. They're not small. So I think I'm waiting for like a class, like where I'll like I have them because I really love the catalog and to give everyone the idea of starting in this, this in this tactile way on these pages. So yeah, that's another.
If you would do a class, you would have to get yourself a job at that company and get a lot of those.
If they would send me their clothing for exchange for their catalogs, I would be. I love their stuff.
So do you have like a daily art practice, regular? What's your?
It's not daily. My favorite phrase is the word daily-ish, because I think daily is too structured for me. Also, my life does not allow me. I should change that and almost say, because I am not a fan of I don't have time. That is, I don't like that phrase. I'm not making it time. I'm not making a priority
That's
to
right.
do it. So my life is structured in a way that I have to choose what priority is that day, and it can't always be art. But as I've had to kind of go through what I feel daily-ish is, like, what is a daily practice? Recently, I've had it keeps popping up in my world as conversation. So it got me thinking. I've had some conversations with some friends about the fact that a daily practice doesn't have to be doing. And I think that's what trips people up a lot, is that for them, a daily practice or daily art journal practice, because that's the context in which we work, is literally gluing something down or putting paint on the page. And it doesn't have to be, because I think about art every day. So if you ask me if I had a daily art practice, the answer is yes. If I'm touching my art journal every day, the answer is no. But I still look at Instagram and filter ideas through. I, watch a YouTube video and filter ideas through. I walk into my studio and my stuff is out and things filter through. I look at a page I did yesterday and think about it. Did I not? Did I like it? Why did I struggle? Why did it make it easy? So to me, that's a daily practice. A daily practice is always having it filtered through your system. Listening to a podcast between two creatives, watching a video like we're making, like an interview, is all part of a daily creative practice, because you're just feeding it. I guess it would be like the Julia Cameron thing about going on artist dates. Like, I don't go on artist dates as in I don't take myself to the local museum, or, that's not my artist date is let's watch a YouTube video, or, that would be my version of an artist date. I mean, in my world, and probably in yours, part of art is our business. So it's hard sometimes to ask a business artist, do you have a daily practice? But we're kind of forced to have a daily practice because we have to make a video and we teach. And so we're constantly thinking about it. But even as a hobby, I still think you don't need to touch your art every day. I think you need to feed you. And then eventually a couple times a week, you touch it. Even if it's literally just gluing one thing down, like that's okay. It doesn't have to finish a page. Yeah, you don't have to finish a page. I'm a page finisher. Like, I don't, I'm not one that, spends days or hours doing an art journal page. Like, my favorite videos to make for YouTube are ones where I literally do the art page in 15 minutes.
Nice.
Like, spread it out, 15 minutes, what comes up. And it's gotten to the point where what comes up is usually done, so, but that's just me. I don't want other people to feel like, 15 minutes is how you have to make an art journal page.
Yes, well, there's no right or wrong. Absolutely.
No, yeah. I mean, I know people who
remember.
go back to their pages over and over again, are always adding to them and changing them. Do you really?
Yeah. I go to all our journals and I add some
and
more
do you
stuff.
add? Oh, yeah. I never. To me, it like done is done. Like, it stops talking. That's part of it for me. It stops talking, and then I'm like, well, okay.
But I think it must come from the fact that you really focus on the process, that you're not doing it to have this certain result, right?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
The result's the end. Yeah. The process is always it's fabulous when you're done and you're like, ooh, I love it. That's the best, yay, because then it's good and it's pretty and it makes you happy, or, it's, I don't even want to say the word pretty. I mean, pretty in that the colors it's satisfying. Let's go with that. It's interesting. It's satisfying.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's beautiful. Sometimes you just surprise the heck out of yourself and you're like, wow, look what I just did. So, that's really fun. But no, it's about the tactile part of doing that. Yeah.
I think what you say about the, creative practice, and that it doesn't have to mean that we're actually drawing or painting. It's also, I think it's easy, especially if you have a day job, that to think of this art practice as a separate thing, that, this is something I do on the weekends if I get time. This is when I'm an artist, and during the week, I'm just doing my day job, making money, caring for other people, and there's no space in my head to be an artist. So I think what you say can be really inspiring to people who, cannot aren't at the moment full-time artists, and that's not their business. So just allowing yourself to be creative and making some time during the week, every day, to the everyday-ish, to be open to thinking about your projects, thinking about creativity. And yeah, I think that's really important, really, really good. And I love that what you say about 15 minutes and it's done. It's about letting it out, right? Just having this block of time and doing whatever you want and can do during that time.
Yeah, and I think it's also important for people to to feel that they don't have to do anything special. Like if they are at a day job, and like 3 colored pencils on your desk and a piece of paper, and you just make a couple marks or some circles, while you're waiting for an email to come through, or you're chatting on the phone. That's just you're feeding those colors, especially if they're your favorites. Like, it doesn't have to be, if you're just doodling on a piece of paper at work, that becomes something eventually on the weekend that you could rip up and glue into your art journal. But you're feeding that color, and you're feeding those shapes maybe that you keep repeating over and over again. That's still creative. That's the multitasking part, but but it's still, if you're doing a mindless thing at work and you're on a conference call. I mean, how many people are sitting on Zoom calls nowadays as part of their job?
I know.
I mean, yeah. All of us. I know, it's so funny. I'm like, I love Zoom, actually. I mean, but I know for some people it's a torturous thing.
Yes.
Like, as a if you're in a corporate environment, Zoom is like torture. For us, I'm like, yay. But like, do that. Like, what you're doing this corporate job, but your hands can be doing something else.
You can be both things. You can be,
and that, and that's like subliminally just feeding you, even especially if it's your favorite colors that you're, or trying something new. Today I'm just going to be orange, like whatever. Like, how does it, I'm annoyed with this, what will make me better, and pick a color out of a jar of markers that sparks your emotion and makes you feel brighter or happier to be on that call because you're working with it. I mean, take notes with a colored marker. That's creative. Okay. So yeah, I mean, that's ways of just incorporating it into your everyday.
But also, I think, like, allowing ourselves to be sensitive to beauty.
Yes.
Just because you have a very serious day job doesn't mean you cannot see beauty in this, I don't know, patent cup that you have in on your desk or behind the window, because things that are beautiful is what often inspires us, right? So having that sensitivity and not like trying to shut it off. I mean, when I was younger, I used to have a friend, and I would always say, because that's how I am, I would always say, oh, look at the sky, it's so beautiful. Look at the clouds today. Oh, look at this path. Isn't this path so beautiful? Oh, look at the stone. That kind of things, And because she was very different to me, she would always say, oh, you're so weird. And I, for some time, thought that is weird, actually. I'm just going to stop that. But then, as I was growing up and realized a few things about myself, it's not weird. It's just, me being that creative person and appreciating that beauty. So that's good. And let's just keep on doing that.
Yes. Yes. So feed that. Yeah. Feed it.
Feed that. Exactly. So how do you feel that a regular or, daily, let's call it daily art practice, has any impact on your well-being? Is it your way of expressing feelings, or is it your refuge, or how do you see that, in your daily life? What does it do for you?
What does it do for me? the easy answer is I can't not do it. It's kind of compulsive in that the ideas are always flowing in, so I have to go let them out. So that's part of my process. I tend to do it when I'm happier. I've discovered this. I can't go to my, I do not go to my art journal or do art if I'm very angry or very sad, or like if I'm in that, like a,
Right.
the dark place. Like if I'm in a dark place, I do not function in an art capacity that way. I go, like, I go and read books, like to get myself out of dark, I go to read books. And I know there's people who go to their art for that. So for me, it is an expression of happy, like it's my joyish type of thing. And I go there for that. That being said, there has also been dark things that has come out without realizing it. Like you've done an art journal page, and then I've realized that I've processed something hard that's maybe happening in the world. And, but I'm going to the page to have fun and just play and enjoy the process. And then the page is done. And you look at it and you look at the quote you put on it and you're like, oh, so my subconscious needed processing. So that's always been interesting to me, that I don't go to it to work out feelings. I go to it to play with supplies. That's my, I cannot not be creative. I tell a story that in 2008, when the world first decided to, not first, but another time it decided to implode. Many times it's imploded. But I had been teaching in-person classes, because online wasn't a thing yet, for years. And I just burned out. And I was like, I need to take a break from creativity. I need to take a break from art. And I'm going to get a real job. And I did. I was a dog walker and lots of fun other things.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was totally fun. I missed that. But I also became a face painter, because in my head, that was not being creative, because I wasn't doing the same thing. Like my body said, shut off your creativity because you're burned out. My soul and subconscious said, well, do face painting. That's just painting on children. And I was like, but, and then looking back, you're like, what part of face painting was not creative? Okay. So, duh. All you did was switch the canvas from things to people. I mean, you did the most impermanent art you could possibly do. And I think that's what saved me from that in that section, was that I lost every preciousness part of it, because I wasn't teaching. I wasn't doing stuff. I was literally painting on something that would be washed away in an hour or a couple hours. And so it's compulsive for me, that and that's what, like, if I'm saying this to the people watching, if you feel like the urge to art, it doesn't have to be anything other than putting a supply on a surface. Keep it that simple.
And I also want to point out, if you are watching this, then that means you probably do have that urge.
Yes.
You
yes,
are here
exactly.
for a reason. Because
Exactly.
I mean, I know I used to think that I have no creative ideas. I am not that creative. I mean, I sometimes like to draw, but it's not that creative. But that doesn't mean you aren't. I believe personally that everyone is creative. We just have to kind of, find that voice, right? And celebrate it and do stuff with it. So the reason you're listening to this is probably that you already feel that pull. And just do it, right? Go for it. Hit the dance floor.
Hit the dance floor. Just try, pick up something, do something.
Okay, Consie, thank you so much. You shared so much wisdom with us. It's really, really valuable. Lots of advice and tips. Thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you. When is it? Sunday at 4 p.m.
Yes.
live. I
I will
will
be
be there. I will be watching. What we're going to be doing? Tell us
We're
a
going
little
to
bit.
play with faces, but I'm going to show a really easy way to make a face stencil so that people that get intimidated by faces can have a starting point. So
Face stencil? Make
yeah.
yourself? So what kind of supplies will that require?
Magazine pages.
Okay.
And that's magazine pages are what you're going to use. You're going to use faces from magazines as the stencils. So,
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, so we're gonna have a proper supply list
oh yes, yes, yeah. It'll
in that
just
thing
in
in
the
the
thing. Yeah.
classroom.
There'll some
Yep.
paints and stencils to get you
Yeah.
started, and then we'll put a face on top of it. Yeah. Super
Well,
simple.
that's very, very exciting. I can't wait. I will be
you.
definitely there watching, probably with my kids at 4 p.m. Yes,
Yeah.
we'll all be sitting in front of the screen.
Oh yay. No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, thank you very much for chatting to me, and thank you everyone who listened, who watched this. I hope you're gonna make some beautiful art, beautiful or not beautiful, doesn't matter, right? Just do a lot of it. Do a lot of it. Thank you very much, and bye.
Bye.